Hey guys, Bo Harrison, Cranky Canine, dog training. This here is Irie. Smile for our camera, darling. She says, I don't like cameras. Don't point that thing at me. Dogs don't like cameras. You guys ever notice that? They lick their lips and stuff. Anyways, she likes the peanut butter I got here. So I'm gonna make a little video here. This is part one on how to train the dog to wear a muzzle. The very first step is getting them to put their face in it. Not necessarily you putting it on, but them putting their face in it. The best way to do this is with peanut butter, but you will notice that with some of the really aggressive ones, they know what that thing is and they're not putting their face in there and they really don't care about your peanut butter. And so sometimes I'll show you in the next step, step two, what you have to do if you get a dog who's not food motivated, just to get them to accept it, okay? So, you know, peanut butter, muzzle. I have the same three types of muzzles I had here next to me from the previous video. I just leave my peanut butter, you know, I don't know about you guys, but, well, first of all, peanut butter can be toxic. So like most peanut butter, like I went to Walmart and looked at every single one there, and all the peanut butters were good to go. So they don't, so it's cheap peanut butter, I think, that does this, but xylitol is some kind of an ingredient that dogs are very, very, it's toxic to them, and it's poison to them. Xylitol, it's in sugar-free gum, and I eat a lot of sugar-free gum, so I'm always real careful where my gum is at and where my wrappers are at. But apparently, cheapo brands of peanut butter, and you can Google it. Whenever I Googled it, they were like brands that I'd never heard of before. Not Skip, you know, not Jiffy, not Peter Pan. All the normal brands, they tend to be good to go. But there are certain brands out there that use xylitol as a sweetener, and you know, just be careful and read your labels or do a Google search and make sure you got the right kind of peanut butter. Now, all I did was shove some peanut butter inside the muzzle, and then Irie's gonna use this as a food dish. This should be Irie's very first introduction to the muzzle. She shouldn't know for a fact that this thing even has straps. You see I'm holding them back? I put her out, she puts her face in, she eats the peanut butter, and this is easily step one, right? Come on, honey, there's peanut butter in there, silly. And you see she's leery of it, right? Instantly, this is the first time I've used a muzzle on her because she's a doll baby, and I don't really need to use a muzzle on her, so I never have, but she's kind of iffy about getting her mouth all the way in there, and that trust building, bam, there she goes. That trust building is the first part, you know? I need her to be okay with sticking her face all the way in that thing before I move on to step two. What a good girl. And I just use it as a food dish. She ate it, so I go put some more in there and then back to it. Go ahead, girl. More peanut butter. Yeah. And that's step one. Pretty simple. Turn your muzzle into a food dish. Do not use the straps. Do not strap it on. I mean, for like a good week, I really want to feed her with peanut butter out of this thing. Until when I go to, let's say I grab it off the counter and she gets all perky, like, oh, that's the thing with the peanut butter, okay? And once I get that response out of her, then I can probably move on to the next step. Okay, cool. Bo Harrison, Cranky Canine Dog Training.